In the headlines, a New York-based political activist expresses fears that Dominica could not be meeting international electoral standards. An expert on crime management calls for an analytical response to criminality, and government still needs public assistance in addressing Tropical Storm Erica damage. I am Andrea V with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this. Thank you for staying with us. We begin with a political activist based in New York who has publicly advised the Electoral Commission to ensure that the issuance of national ID cards meets international electoral standards. Iduna Baptist explains.
The implementation of a multi-purpose identification card system is part of new voting technology for the country's next constitutionally due general elections. Former United Nations ambassador to Dominica and political activist Crispin Gregoire said the relevant authorities should take a careful approach to distributing ID cards for voting. He was at the time addressing the Freedom Party's delegates conference on Sunday.
I want to know who is eligible to get these voter ID cards. I want it to be clear that the Electoral Office would create a huge challenge here in Dominica if they were to give ID cards for voters to people who are on that list, to everybody who is on that existing list. That will not be acceptable. I cannot say it. It will not meet international standards.
Gregoire, speaking on his observation, said that the Electoral Commission is not undertaking the work that international election observer organizations have recommended to do with respect to electoral reform.
Let me provide some sound advice to the commissioners. Do your work, or resign if you are not prepared to do the work mandated by the Constitution.
Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Gerald Burton, has pointed out through a press release that the implementation process of the ID card system is expected to help with cleaning up of the voters' list. The Commission sought and received approval from government for funding of the project to the tune of $6.1 million. The move comes as proposed amendments to the country's electoral laws have not yet been read at Parliament. Burton noted that the Commission extensively reviewed draft election legislation presented to it by Cabinet for its comments. The draft legislation included proposals for the implementation of an identification card system for use in elections. Iduna Baptist, Channel 5 News.
In other top stories, criminologist Dr. Peter Serja says Dominica's situation with the increase in the murder rate should not be treated without an active analytical response. Dr. Serja was responding to a question on his assessment of the crime rate here. He agrees that 13 homicides for the first half of the year is concerning.
When we talk about murders, we use murders to measure crime statistic because it's kind of very robust. And we do not just talk about one or two murders, we look at per 100,000 because we think of Dominica as having 100,000 people. And any reasonable person should be concerned about one body being dropped, let alone 13 bodies, just a little bit over half of the year. And what does that mean? We are not even necessarily in the highest season, right? Because usually during times like July, towards the end of the year, usually between July to the second half of the year, on different years have produced even more crimes than the first half of the year. So we do not know. It doesn't mean that because there are 13 murders or there were 13 by the first half, there may be 13 at the second half. I mean, it could be more, it could be less. But the question is, what really are the strategies that are being used to understand why is the problem where it is and where might it go from there?
The criminologist pointed out that even if Dominica has a low crime rate when compared to other Caribbean states, it does not mean law authorities should be complacent with their response.
Even if we have, from unofficial counts, about 13 homicides this year, if you were to compare Dominica with another nation then it would be really about 17 murders per 100,000 people. So then you would compare to a place like the Virgin Islands that has 38 murders per 100,000 people, a place like Jamaica that has 45 murders per 100,000 people, with some variations in crime. So it's very important for us to not just compare Dominica with other nations, but compare it against itself, because we have typically low levels of violent crime, low levels of murders for sure. There are other crimes that are high, levels of murders. But how, and not because we only have 8, or we may have 10, or we may have 13, and somewhere else may have 100, or elsewhere may have a different number, that we are just to be complacent and say, well, we are not as bad as somewhere else. We have to also compare ourselves to ourselves and say, how were we 10 years ago? How were we 20 years ago when levels were lower?
An example of Dr. Seja's work is the 1997 implementation of Dominica's first community policing program in Granby to resolve high crime there at the time.
And then after that program was implemented, we came back in 1998 and we did an evaluation of it. And the people of Granby, in collaboration with others, have been maintaining the things. And if something went wrong or something is not seeming right, you can go back to the drawing board and say, well, it's something with the police, it's something with the corrections, it's something with the courts, it's something with the youth, it's something with the adults and the elders. But if you have no consolidated approach, how are you going to go back? I'm not saying that there is no plan at all, because there's a police have their plan, there's corrections, there's courts. But there needs to be a consolidated approach so you can say, why do these problems exist? What do we know already about it? And where do we want to go from there?
In more news, Housing Minister Wed9thAug2k has reminded individuals and organizations that their assistance is still needed to help rebuild Dominica post-Tropical Storm Erica. His words came at the handing over of 6 residential units to families who lost their houses during the tropical storm almost 2 years ago. 3 buildings were constructed in Platma Pier near Coliho through a government partnership with the Adventist Development Relief Agency, ADRA. Austri pointed out that there is land available at Platma Pier for the development of a sizable residential community. Government, he said, is committed to helping the housing expansion process in the area.
This is just the beginning. We have an additional 21 or so lots that will be sold to other persons for the expansion of this community. You notice towards our north, there are some buildings that have to be handed over, 6 other buildings that have to be handed over. So the potential for expansion of this community has been created. That is on the cards. And I want to challenge you that give us another 2 or 3 years, you probably won't recognize that community. Your 6 little homes will mushroom and expand to 66, 76, or 86 homes.
The housing minister commended ADRA for the role they played in constructing 6 residential units and called on the wider community and corporate citizens to help in the resettlement process for those displaced during Tropical Storm Erica.
Everything cannot happen at one time. And you said that you could have done sufficient. We're happy with that. What we need now is for somebody else now that you have set the pace, you have laid the groundwork, somebody must take the baton and run with it. And if they cannot do 6, I'll take 1. If you give me 1 house, I'll take it. If somebody else gives me 2, another religious organization, another volunteer organization, anybody who can assist us in making the life of our people a little better, then we'll do it.
Construction of the ADRA houses in Platma Pier was done on a primarily voluntary basis and took about 18 months to be completed. Still on government developments, 13 major rivers have been identified for continuous dredging in order to lessen the impact of heavy rainfall. As the country enters the peak of the hurricane season, flooded rivers associated with heavy rainfalls are a consistent cause for concern, especially following the devastating effects of Tropical Storm Erica. In his budget address last month, Prime Minister Skerrit revealed that $4.1 million had been set aside to complete the dredging of the Roseau River. Minister for National Security Rayburn Blackmore says the dredging of rivers has remained a high agenda item for the government in order to protect citizens and property. To this end, 13 rivers have been identified thus far for the dredging process.
No, we came up from Erica, but we have to continue to put mitigating measures in place. And we have actually identified these 13 critical rivers. that have to be dredged continuously, and to ensure that we put in place the river walls, etc., and all the other mitigating factors. So the budget is putting aside a certain amount of money to critically dredge our rivers.
You are watching Channel 5 News. Up next, an education official cautions a booyah band. That and more after the break.
Watch out, summer. Mapping is doing it big from 17th July to 31st August with free installation and cash prizes. Here's the drill. New customers sign up for any of our services and pay no installation, plus a chance to win cash prizes every week. Existing subscribers pay off your outstanding balance and you too will qualify to win. Sign up, pay up, and win, 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 because life is better with mapping.
In the event of a storm, subscribers must disconnect the mapping cable at the back of all television sets, modems, and routers. It is also wise to unplug all devices from the electrical outlets. This has been another mapping hurricane tip. Remember, be safe, be smart this hurricane season.
Welcome back. Head of the Wed9thAug2k17News National Trail Management Unit, Julianne Robinson, has advised locals to seek guidance from her office before hiking any of the trail's 14 segments. Idona Jean-Baptiste has that story.
Robinson, along with Forest Officer Stephen Dura and Donaldson Frederick of the Office of Disaster Management, was part of a search team which located the 13-member church group in the heights of Salisbury early August Monday morning. The Office of the Trail Management Unit issued its guidelines on Tuesday after a hiking group experienced difficulty on segment 9 of the trail and had to spend the Sunday night in the woods. Robinson said the group insisted they were not lost.
Based on the interaction that we had with them, it is established that they were not lost. They encountered some difficulty in that one of the individuals who was part of the group had a compromised knee, and that slowed them down quite a bit. And they had a bit of navigation issues along segment 9, which is one of our adventure segments. But like I said, they insist that they were not lost, so they chose to stay on the trail overnight. They chose not to leave their member behind, and it was a decision that they made as a group. And it was a bit difficult. When I spoke with them, I understood their difficulty in being able to come out and to inform us, or to inform the police and the firemen that they were staying, that the group was staying in the forest overnight.
Robinson says her unit would like to see the incident in a positive light to remind the public that every hike should be registered so they can provide the necessary advice.
Whether it's an individual, whether it's a group, whether it's resident, non-resident, we want to ensure that every hike is registered, and we have made it quite easy to do so. We have a registration form that is available on our website, and you can also submit that registration form online, so you don't have to download and print, you can just submit it online. You can call in, you can email, you can WhatsApp, you can send us a message on Facebook, on Instagram. We have made it quite easy. And one of the reasons why we insist that people register is because one of our roles is to provide technical support. So if, for example, the group in question had indicated that they were going on segment 9, we would have been able to guide them better as to what to expect. Albeit they were experienced hikers. The organizer of the hike, Mr. McLaw, he's somebody who teaches survival skills and all of that. So, he felt comfortable going in with the group.
It's advisable that hikers carry enough food, water, a power bank for mobile devices, and a flashlight, even if the hiking trail is short. The unit also provides a general list of trained guides. Meantime, the Born Seventh-day Adventist Church, led by Pastor Albert Matthew, who was also on the hike, has expressed thanks in a statement to everyone who assisted in locating them. That included police and fire officers, cadets, and forest officers of the St. Joseph Health Team. The statement confirmed that a group member was nursing injuries and that delayed the group from completing segment 9 from Petit Marcoushui to Collioure in the allotted 8 hours.
In other news, government is reporting having spent over $6 million by the end of 2016 in displacement allowance and rental assistance to families who lost their houses during Tropical Storm Erica. As the second anniversary of the monster storm approaches, Minister for Social Services Catherine Daniel says the government has remained steadfast in ensuring the comfort of those who lost their homes after the storm, and assistance for affected families continues to this day. Following Erica's passage, 9 communities were declared special disaster areas, namely Petit Soufriere, Good Hope, Dubic, Petit Savan, Pishley, Kolibistri, Campbell, Saint-Sauveur, and Paradise Valley in Bath Estate. The entire communities of Dubic and Petit Savan had to be resettled. Dubic residents are now housed in Centre Grand Bay, while construction work is ongoing in Bellevue-Chopin for the resettlement of Petit Savan residents. Currently, Petit Savan residents are being housed at different locations on island. Almost 2 years after the tropical storm, Daniel has assured that government will continue to take care of those most affected by the storm.
We, as social services, family and gender affairs, our role in the entire situation was to ensure that our displaced families, our displaced households were taken care of. And we came in support of all families across Dominica in the form of a displacement allowance and rental assistance, which we still continue to do. We have spent in excess, last year, in excess of $6 million in that purpose. And that is why when you take care of your own, when you take care of people, when you shelter the homeless, you take care of the needy, God will always bless you.
On the entertainment scene now, one of Dominica's leading bouyon bands has been challenged to modify its lyrics in order to help in the holistic development of the nation's youth. The challenge was thrown out by Assistant Chief Education Officer Jeffrey Blaise when he addressed a scholarship awards ceremony hosted by the Triple K Band. While applauding the efforts of the band to help in the academic development of the nation's youth, Blaise says the lyrical content can also have a positive influence on the young people.
I really want to challenge Triple K this afternoon to continue being flexible and be even so more flexible in their production of the musical genre to the public, looking at issues that are topical and that affect our young population and our adult population as well. And I'm speaking by that of issues such as gender sensitivity, issues such as domestic violence, issues such as child abuse, and issues that will encourage our young persons to uphold the responsibility to be good citizens. It will enhance even more so what you have been doing as a corporate citizen, not only giving back tangibly, but also giving back psychologically, emotionally, and so that our students, our young adults can continue supporting the rhythm, but at the same time benefit in a way that will make society much more tolerant of each other, much more acceptable of each other.
This year's scholarship recipients were Delixian Saint-Hilaire, Jaheim James, Devicia Mitchell, and Isabel Leblanc. This is the 4th year of the Triple K Scholarship Program.
Outside of the entertainment that we provide to the community, we think it's our corporate responsibility to assist those that, for whatever reason, are not able to assist themselves fully. And we feel very elated every year that we have been blessed to be able to make this contribution to the youth in our society. And we just want to tell them, on behalf of the band, to continue the good work, keep the focus, keep striving for excellence, and success is at your doorsteps.
The Triple K Band has been on the music scene for 17 years. Wrapping up tonight's news, we can tell you that the 2 main winners from Week 2 of the Marpin Flow Summer Promotion walked away with their cash prizes over the weekend. Sharina Mark of Faucole won $250 from the Marpin 2K4 Special.
Basically, all you have to do to qualify is pay your bill on time or sign up for any service, and you will definitely get a chance to be in that draw.
And Hyacinth Mark won $500 from the flow side of the summer promotion.
Just to remind customers of the qualifiers, you would have to pay your bill in full and on time. You would have to activate a 7-day data or combo plan or any plan higher than that. You would have to sign up for any of our postpaid services, be it fixed, broadband or mobile, and you would have to top up $25 and over at any of our locations.
The Watch Out Summer promotion ends on 31st August. That's news. Stay tuned for your sports highlights. A new executive of Special Olympics Dominica is preparing to raise $80,000 to send a team to the Special Olympics World Summer Games in Abu Dhabi. National Director for Special Olympics, Ainsworth Irish, says the committee will go on fundraising drives for the United Arab Emirates mission in 2019.
I can tell you that sometime next week we're going to go on launch what you call an awareness campaign, where we're going to sensitize persons as to the importance of Special Olympics. As you know, Special Olympics take care of persons that are intellectually challenged. And of course, we were in the World Games in California after some 19 years absence. We went to the World Games in California in 2015, got 3 gold medals. Claudia Shipley got 2, and then of course Stephanie Laron 1, and the others got ribbons. And the next Games will be in Abu Dhabi in 2019. And I can tell you, Jamaica has already raised in excess of $1 million Jamaica dollars to have about 80 athletes going and officials. Barbados, my friend was just telling me last week that they already raised $80,000. So we're going to have a campaign, an awareness campaign to sensitize persons and a sort of fundraising activity. I'm sure the government of Dominica will assist us, as they did last time. In 2015, the government gave us $20,000.
The organization has also been recently re-accredited by its international accreditation body based in Washington, D.C. Dominica's involvement in Special Olympics began in 1988. The new committee was elected in July this year.
So I can tell you that Tirella Alexander from Digicel, of course, she is our new chairperson for Special Olympics Dominica. We have Julian Benjamin, a sports teacher, is the deputy chairman. And of course, we have Lucian from the Carib Territory, our secretary. We have Michael Detouche, an athlete who is on the executive. And of course, we have Edmond Orden, a sports officer, as our sports director. We have Medain Pelwi, our treasurer. We have Niger Hillier, a businessman, who is the public relations officer. And of course, we have Lisa Warty, a special ed teacher, as our special ed in intellectual disability on the committee. We have Joe William from the indigenous territory. We have Martha Wilson, a former, one of the ladies that really started Olympics in Dominica. She is the family representative. And then we have Keisha Polidor as our education liaison officer. And your humble servant, Ainsworth Irish, assumed the responsibility of national director.
Moving on to football, the Dominica Football Association has selected an under-15 squad of 18 boys to participate in the CONCACAF under-15 qualifiers. It consists of 2 goalkeepers, 6 defenders, 7 midfielders, and 3 strikers. The squad reads: Order Laville, captain; Turam Tuse, vice-captain; Jerome Burkhard, Sachin Thomas, Jamal Augustine, Bry Evans, Nixon Packett, Aaron Carbon, Frankie Bellot Jr., Chetty Joseph, Quinton Moise, Tariq Joseph, Lewan Leslie, Marcus Brinas, Tyreek John Baptist, Kadimel Paul, and Omari Rabes. Head coach Stanton Serafin told a press conference on Tuesday that the squad has been selected from among 100 boys through an under-15 competition. He also said they have been involved in 5 months of intense training.
So I want to say I feel the preparation was very good. All right, a lot of work was put into the preparation. I think our boys picked up a lot. Our boys today, I think, are much better footballers. All right, and we can only hope that the boys take, when we go up to the U.S., a lot of the things that we learned, all right, during the preparational phase, that our boys can take that and transfer that into the games, because that is what is important. It's one thing to do all the training and try to pick up as much as you can, but when you go into the games, it's very important that you can carry all right, a lot of the things that we worked on. But I must say, the coaching staff, we are very confident. I must say we are very confident in this young group of boys.
The coaching staff reads assistant coach Joel Hamilton, fitness trainer Delroy Watt, team doctor Pharaoh Coffey, goalkeeping coach Melvin Angol, and team manager John Joseph. Technical director Jerome Badwill will also travel with the team. And in athletics, the Pioneer Athletics Club is giving back to athletes following one of its premier activities. The club made a presentation of a gift certificate to assist athlete Shonella Isles following the 10K Brypack Memorial Run. The event was held on 23rd July.
Shonella is an athlete. She's a member of the club, very dedicated, disciplined, and she's also in need of this $185 gift voucher.
Isles expressed gratitude for the support, which she considered as a pleasant surprise. That's it for sports. Join us next time. We now join our friends at the Met office for the midweek weather forecast.
Good evening. Welcome to the weather report and forecast. I'm Viola Pascal. The infrared satellite imagery showed some convective clouds mainly across the Windward Islands during today due to the effects of a tropical wave. The visible satellite imagery showed partly cloudy to occasional cloudy skies across Dominica during today. The radar imagery indicated scattered showers mainly across the Windward Island. For tonight, expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms. During tomorrow, expect mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms due to the passage of a tropical wave. For the marine forecast, seas are expected to be slight to moderate, with waves peaking near 5 feet. Over the next 3 days, expect some thunder showers on Thursday and partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers on Friday and Saturday. Across the Caribbean, expect some thunder showers across the Leeward Islands and a few scattered showers mainly across the Windward Islands. For the international cities forecast, expect clear skies in New York, some thunder showers in Miami and Caracas, and partly cloudy skies in London and Beijing. The sun will rise at 5:49 a.m. and set at 6:32 p.m. For further information, call the weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit the website at weather.gov.dm. Thanks for viewing. Do have a good evening.
To end the news, the headlines again. A New York-based political activist expresses fears that Dominica could not be meeting international electoral standards. An expert on crime management calls for an analytical response to criminality, and the government still needs public assistance in addressing Tropical Storm Erika damage. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.